So yeah, the whole thing was quite a blur. All I remember is just one stage just before I entered this scene was dropping, and as I was getting picked up, there's just blood pissing out of me, which was not a nice thing to see. One of the guys actually opens the door again. I don't know if we missed that, but he opens the door and calls me a black. He goes, "It's just a flesh wound, you're black," and shuts the door again. So that's pretty sweet. But yeah, unfortunately, 90% of the brutality was before this. There was a lot of like low blows, a lot of jabs and knees going on, and I took one to the head just before there. You can actually see my blood, the pool of blood from my nose and mouth, if you look close enough.
This is their supervisor.
Oh, washing all the blood. Yeah, good stuff. They would have to wash all that blood. So, yeah, I was right. That was the pool of blood. Pretty impressive stuff. At least they're covering their tracks well. Yeah, unfortunately, a majority of that was before this scenes that you got. Unfortunately, there wasn't the other camera. That would have been quite nice to see me getting actually pulled out. I was bleeding before I got pulled out of the vehicle. So that would have been a big indicator of all the blows I took in the car while they were driving to the police station.
A long-serving Marine in the U.S. military, Sergeant Manuel Logan, was fatally shot by police in a high school parking lot, the latest in a string of violent police confrontations. Loggins regularly took his daughters to a high school football field to read the Bible. In his last morning, he was reportedly seen by police speeding and crashing into a gate near the football field. Authorities say he was acting irrationally and refused police orders, leading the deputy to deem him a threat to his daughters. Police, however, have acknowledged that this version of events differs from an earlier account in which the deputy opened fire because he feared for his own life.
This was an unarmed individual who was walking away from an armed police officer, was shot more than once in the back. He had no weapon of any kind. We have no evidence of there being a threat. The police have not released the dash cams. They have cameras on their cars, which would have shown the incident. There would have been live radio traffic. That has been suppressed.
Loggins' friends and colleagues have questioned official accounts of what happened, describing him as a kind family man who would never disobey authorities or jeopardize the safety of his daughters. The Marine's death comes just a week after police shot dead a teenager in his grandmother's apartment in New York. Police say 18-year-old Ramarley Graham was attempting to flush a bag of marijuana down the toilet. The boy was unarmed and police did not have a warrant to enter the home. His death sparked days of angry protests by citizens who believed his killing was horrific and unjust. There's been a great deal of frustration within the American community over the abuse of authority by law enforcement officials. Criticisms have mounted following the arrest of hundreds of anti-capitalist protesters across the country, and rampant reports of excessive use of force, as well as human rights violations by police against mostly peaceful protesters. On Saturday, 2 Occupy Oakland protesters were arrested for allegedly struggling with officers. Ironically, the arrests were made during a weekly march against police brutality.
He was one of the few, one of the proud, but the family of Marine Jose Guareno want more than just a few answers, and they want his own children to continue to be proud of their dad.
He keeps asking that. Is he a bad guy?
Wife Vanessa told us that's the only thing on her son's mind since last Thursday's SWAT shooting. SWAT was executing a search warrant for drugs. The Guarenas insist SWAT found nothing in the home. The family hired criminal defense attorney Christopher Salepi, and he told us restoring the Marines' good name is mission number one.
One of the first and foremost things in Vanessa's mind, his wife's mind, is to clear his name and to clear his name with the community and also with his own children who saw the remnants of what happened.
SWAT said Guarena pointed a gun at them before sheriff's deputies admitted to firing 71 rounds the Marines' way in just 7 seconds. After the gunfire, wife Vanessa emerged from a closet she was hiding in. She told us she heard her husband still moaning.
I was gonna touch Jose because he was saying that, and he was, and I saw his stomach and I saw all the blood on the floor, so they came into my house and they get me.
Vanessa was rushed from the home, but she had one request.
The only thing that I told him, take care of him, take him to the hospital.
But now, KGUN 9 has uncovered that it took 1 hour and 14 minutes for that to happen. The time paramedics arrived on scene until they were allowed in the home, it was 1 hour and 14 minutes. In the case of the Gabby Gifford shooting, 12 minutes.
A Fitchburg woman won't soon forget she woke up to a horrific noise. Someone with a chainsaw tearing through the front door of her Fitchburg apartment. But it wasn't a crazed killer. It was the FBI. Jim Armstrong live in Fitchburg tonight. Jim, turns out the feds had the wrong apartment.
And Jack, the woman who lives in that wrong apartment says the FBI actually kicked down her front door after they attacked it with a chainsaw, terrifying her, her baby daughter, even the family's puppy. And she says when the feds realized they were in the wrong place, they just left.
And no more bad guys in the door.
No bad guys in the door.
So you scared me.
I scared me.
And it's not nice.
It's not nice.
It's going to be a little while before things get back to normal for Judy Sanchez and 3-year-old Gigi.
It was extremely shocking. Every scary thought you could imagine.
Last Thursday morning, an FBI arrest team swarmed her apartment building as part of a massive citywide drug and weapons gang raid.
I just happened to glance over and seen this big chainsaw ripping down the side of my door. And I was freaking out. I didn't know what was going on.
Trouble is, Sanchez lives in apartment 2R. The guy they were after is in 2F. But there was no explaining the mix-up to the FBI that morning.
That's when I heard the clicking of a gun and saying, FBI, get down. So I laid right on down. He said, get your dog. I got her. And at the same time, I'm like laying in her urine because she did pee on herself at the same time.
Sanchez says they left her on the floor for 35 minutes with little Gigi screaming for her mommy in the other room.
I was told not to move.
Tentative, uncertain steps as Denise Harris feels her way to an ambulance. Her condition, officials say, could be life-threatening.
I mean, come on, now this woman is barely living, literally, and you come in there and attack her safety of her home.
Dayton police showed up at Harris's apartment looking for her son. When Harris opened the door, everyone agrees she told police her son wasn't there. But that's when the story diverges.
So he goes, get off the phone, get off the phone. I'm like, no, this is my phone, and I'm in my own home. So that's when he gonna grab me, and he was squeezing my arm, and then he threw me on the futon and stuff, and started pulling out on my clothes, and he put his hand over my mouth where I couldn't breathe.
When they got him on the floor, the lady officer tased him. I seen the light come up off the taser. I stepped inside her door, and I said, why y'all doing her like that? She's blind. The one guy said he knew that.
But police tell us when Harris answered the door, she was combative, saying she ended up punching one of the detectives. And it was only after they flipped the switch on the taser gun did they realize she was blind.
But it wasn't until that point that they actually knew that she was blind because she had sunglasses on and they didn't know.
Officers say they followed correct procedures and identified themselves.
Oh, me, come on. No.
Okay,
you have fucking children. Why would you do this to a fucking girl?
Come on.
Why would you do this? Don't grab me like that.
Listen to me.
Oh my God.
You better freaking quit.
Oh my God.
Just. I was trying to get you to the car. You continue to resist. Sit up.
It was not
Just
necessary. It was like my sir. I'm bleeding. That was not necessary. Oh my God. That was not necessary.
I gotta piss, bro. Stop kicking the window.
I gotta piss.
I don't care. Stop kicking my window.
I don't give a I gotta piss.
All right, you'll get your chance.
You know what I'm saying?
I told you to stop kicking the window. You hear me?
You see what I'm saying? You got crooked.
When Jermaine Green and his fiancée Violet Roberts got on a Metro bus in Bellflower Monday night, they took notice of another passenger.
The lady got on the bus with her stroller full of pillows, and she was very polite, said hi to everybody, and sat down.
At the next stop, 2 LA County Sheriff's deputies, one male and one female, boarded the bus and called the passenger by name.
They said, get off the bus. She then, started cursing at her, and you can tell it was very obvious that she was special, has special needs. And after that, they grab her, and she cusses him out, calls him a big shot. Next you know, he gives her a big shot.
Green captured the incident with his cell phone's video camera.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, he seen me taping him, and he looked up at the camera a few times, and he still hit her like that. And I can't believe, he didn't try to defuse the situation at all.
Like they were tired of dealing with her, so they didn't try to talk her.
Attorneys also accused Cookville police officer Chris Melton of planting drugs on their client.
Now the cops leave. Here's the hand signal.
Officer Melton searches Farrell's pockets at least a half-dozen times. Then, Durham says, another officer appears to give a signal with his hand. Melton reaches into his own right pocket, looks into the camera, and Durham says that's when Melton puts a bag of marijuana into Farrell's pocket.
Whoa, Carlos!
An officer went too far during an arrest.
Video given to us late tonight shows a man with his hands on a squad car, tasered in the neck.